Hello, my name is Karina and I am from the MTM5. So today I will be discussing on time charter parties and the effect of bridge by using one real case study and one case law. So for this assignment, I decided to choose China rejects 130 million US dollar Chilean cherry shipment after shipping delay. And as for my case law, I chose McAndrew against Adam. Let's start with defining time charter. So what is a time charter? A time charter is when the charterer rents the ships for a period of time. Thus, the ship owner still controls and manages the ships and the charterer decides where the ships goes. So, what's the nature of obligation in a time charter? And let's relate it with the two examples I've chose. So, the nature of obligation in a time charter is the ship owner must perform the voyage within reasonable dispatch, meaning do not delay unnecessarily and must sail within a reasonable time. Let's start with the case McAndrew against Adam 1834. In this case, McAndrew was the charterer and Adam was the ship owner. So what happened was, McAndrew the charterer hired Adam's ships to go from Portsmouth to St. Michael's to load the oranges and then bring them direct to London. But instead of going straight to St. Michael's like what the contract said, Adam made a detour to Oporto to carry the troops first. Thus, this detour caused the delay. And because of the delay, the ships arrived late at St. Michael's, and when the oranges finally reached London, the market price had already fallen. This has caused McAndrew suffered financial loss because the ship was late. So what is the main issue here? The main issue here is whether the ship owner breached the charter party by delaying the voyage instead of proceeding directly, and therefore failed to perform with reasonable dispatch. Now back to the nature of obligation. In this case of McAndrew against Adam, was the nature obligation fulfilled? So the answer is no. This is because Adam the ship owner delayed the ship's voyage to go to Oporto to carry troops and it was not part of the agreed charter. This delay was for his own benefit and the court said because the ship owner did not perform the voyage within a reasonable time, he has breached his obligation. Before I moved on to the next case, I'll discuss on the fact of breach in McAndrew against Adam. So, because of Adam delayed the voyage without a good reason, the court said he breached the charter. The fact made Adam became legally responsible for the loss caused by the delay. So, McAndrew could claim damages, compensation from Adams because the late arrival caused the orange price to drop. In conclusion, McAndrew against Adam is important for time charter because it clearly shows the obligation on the ship owner to travel without unnecessary delay. Now let's move on to the next case, which is Chilean cherry shipment. So in this case study, Chile was the exporter and China was the buyer. So the fact of this case is that a very large shipment of fresh cherries was sent from Chile to China. Now, the cherries needed to arrive before Chinese New Year because that is when the price is at the highest and the demand is very big. But what happened was the shipment had a serious delay while at the sea. And because of this delay, the cherries became no longer fresh when they arrived. China then rejected the entire shipment, causing loss around 60 to 130 million USD dollars. Now, what is the main issue here? The main issue is that whether the carrier failed to perform the voyage with reasonable dispatch when the vessel breakdown caused a long delay that resulted in cargo spoilage. For this case study, there is no formal court judgment for the cherries case because it is a real news incident, it is not a reported legal case. However, it clearly shows what happened in real life when the nature of obligation is not fulfilled. Because the voyage was delayed and the ship did not arrive within a reasonable time, the nature of obligation to perform with reasonable dispatch was not fulfilled. So now I will be discussing the effect of breach for this case study. Here, the cherries arrived late and were no longer fresh. China then rejected the entire shipment and the sellers in Chile suffered a huge financial loss, around 60 to 130 million USD dollars. It could also lead to commercial disputes or legal claims between the seller, buyer, and the ship owner. The effect of breach in the cherries case was very serious. The delayed voyage caused the fruit to lose its value, the buyers in China refused to accept it, and the Chilean exporters lost millions. This shows that when the duty of reasonable dispatch is breached, it can lead to massive economic damage even if it's not taken to court. To conclude, the nature of obligation in a time charter is for the ship owner to perform the voyage with reasonable dispatch, meaning they must not delay the voyage without a valid reason. In the case of MacAndrew against Adam, 1834, the court made it clear that any unnecessary delay by the ship owner is a breach of contract, and they will be liable for losses caused by that delay. The Chilean cherries case shows this principle in real life. A delay in shipping led to the total rejection of cargo worth over $100 million. So here both examples remind us that time is extremely valuable in shipping and trade. Even a short delay can lead to big financial losses and broken contracts. So the main takeaway is, in shipping, performing the voyage on time isn't just a good practice, it is a legal duty. Thank you for watching and listening.